Hey, it's Therese. I hope you're having a fabulous Saturday. I just got a haircut, so I'm having a good hair day. I thought I would jump on and just give you a few tips. I love talking about mindset. I love talking about ways that you can shift your energy and emotion so you get better business outcomes. So if you scroll down a few posts, you will see my last Facebook Live when I talked about certain ways and certain things you can do that are going to help you stay on top of your game, not collapse, not to get into fear and doubt, not give up basically. Here's what I also know though. Sometimes, and these are my terms, right? Your physiology gets hijacked. So think about it. There are times when you maybe get off a little bit or you feel kind of just not right. Maybe you feel some fear or doubt or just kind of in a funky place, but you can catch it. Then you can sort of go, I don't want to feel bad. I should be grateful. Yeah, I'll shift into gratitude. So there are times when you absolutely can just shift yourself. But what about those times when you can't? Those times when I call it looping, where you're just going over and over and over and over and over and over. And no matter what you do, no matter what you work on, you're just I can't get out of this. So the way I think of that is, let's just say a scale of 1 to 10, right? If you're a 1 to maybe 4 in terms of distress, right? You're a little bit off, you're a little bit cranky, you're a little bit not yourself. I think you can use your mind, you can use kind of some affirmations, gratitude, future thinking. You can use that to shift yourself. But I feel once your physiology is involved, and what I mean by that is if something happens, seriously, you should watch the last Facebook Live I did, because I talked about how sometimes you can regress. Sometimes you'll have an emotional overreaction and you're no longer a 50-year-old being reasonable. You're super triggered, or you're super angry, or you're super checked out, right? And when you're in that space and your physiology is jacked, all the positive thinking in the world is not going to take you home. I love Abraham Hicks' law of attraction, change your vibration, think of the next better, higher thought. But if you are literally in a cascade of the neurochemicals, and so your physiology has you you got to do something else, right? And I think this is a really important distinction, because a lot of people don't get it. A lot of people think, well, God, I'm saying the affirmations and I'm praying and I'm meditating, but I'm still whacked. I'm still just a freak show. Okay, when you're at that point, you cannot change your energy with your mind. You can't think your way out of something else, right? And so I'm just going to show you EFT. This is just one of the techniques. EFT is emotional freedom therapy. And it's based on the Chinese meridians, the acupuncture meridians, and it involves tapping. Most of you probably know it. And truthfully, there's a million ways to do EFT. But what this does, this works on the energetic level. It doesn't work on the cognitive level. It's not change your thinking, change your feelings. It's not like that. It works on the energy and can actually help you settle the heck down. So remember, if you're at a 1 to 4, you can use other tools. But when you're too far, like Finley, that's Finley. When you're too far into it, it's going to be even more frustrating, because you're God, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm journaling and I'm saying these affirmations and I just still feel just nuts, right? So I'm just going to take you through a quick round of EFT. Now, I'll tell you, if you just go to YouTube and go EFT for, there's a bazillion people that are talking about EFT, and mine might be a little bit different. And I think it's good to sample people's, modalities, right? So what EFT does, it literally releases the energy, and this is called, I'll give you big words, right, when I study this stuff. Let's say I'm really anxious and overwhelmed. Something happened and I get anxious and overwhelmed. The founders of these energies tools call that a perturbation. A perturbation. Gary Callahan, the founder of this stuff, called it a perturbation, meaning a disturbance in the energy field. And through the use of tapping, it releases the energy. So let's just do it, right? And again, you can go on YouTube, get all kinds of experiences, but I'll just show you mine. So the first one, let's think of a situation you're really kind of jacked up. On a scale of 1 to 10 of distress. So 10 is, I'm so like freaked out. I'm just, you would want to look at intensity, distress, trauma, right? 1 is totally chill. So you first write down, you say, okay, I'm about a 7. And then what you do is you start noticing what you're telling yourself. And I write that down. Like if I do this with my clients, I actually write down. So I'm just going to talk through this. Like, so if somebody says, I'm super anxious, and I'll say, okay, and what else? And I'm really scared it's never going to change. And what else? And so you literally do a brain dump. So you do like a really quick, write the sentences that all this shit, like just brain dump all that out. Okay? And then you brain dump what you would prefer instead. I want to be peaceful. I want to feel calm. I want to just know that all is well. I want to be back to myself. I want to be happy. Okay? So that's how I do it. I think that's a little different than a lot of teachers, but I like to write the script a little bit ahead of time. Now, the first thing is what we do is we call a setup phrase. And so some people, you'll see them do it this way. I do it this way. So it's called the lymph spot. On the left side, if you palpate, you'll find a little tender spot. And you're going to just circle, right? So we're just circling this. And so what you say is, I'm just going to use the thing anxious and overwhelmed. That's going to be what we're going to work on today. So you say, even though I feel anxious and overwhelmed, I fully and completely love and accept myself. And now some people say the exact same statement. I mix it up. Because to me, I want to get like the kaleidoscope. I want to get every single thing lurking in there. I'm going to just say as much as I can. I'm Irish, I get the gift of gab. You got to give it to me, right? Okay. So even though I feel anxious and I feel so fucking stupid because I fell back in here again, I fully and completely love and accept myself. And the third time, even though I feel anxious and I'm just pissed, I hate that I keep going back here, I fully and completely love and accept myself. That's what's called the setup, okay? So you take this thing and then you attach a positive to it. It could be, even though I feel anxious, I love and accept myself. Even though I feel anxious, I'm going to be kind to myself. Even though I feel anxious, all is well. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Again, even though I feel anxious, or even though I feel blank, put a positive. And the basic generic one is, I love and accept myself. Okay? Now the next round, and let me just go through the tapping points, and everybody has different ones. So the basic one is you start right here. You could do 2 hands. I usually do 1 hand. And then you go back. So the inside of the eyebrow, the outside of the eyebrow, and like on the socket bone, underneath the nose, underneath this lip. You do your chest, and you're going to do, if you had a bra on, if you guys, you're not wearing your bra, where a belly bra would be, right here. There's also a rib right down here. You're going to tap there. Sometimes I tap on the outsides of the fingers, and sometimes the top of the head. Okay? So round 1 is, remember all those things you wrote down of the state that you don't want? You just tap and speak it. Now there's no, it's not like you must tap 10 times, it must be a certain pressure. Just a few will do, but you just speak the state. So I'll just get creative. I'm going to say, speak the shit. It's okay? So what you wrote down that you don't want, so remember, okay, you're a 7 of distress, right? You decided drive me nuts, I'm a 7. So I'm just going to walk you through a round. And here's the thing. The words don't even matter. It sounds really funny. We're not going after words. We're going after energy. And so you got to just get for close enough, right? So I can do this in groups. And let's say somebody's going to watch me do this. You can get a clearing and a treatment so you can do it with me if you want. Because who knows, maybe somebody out in Facebook land today is anxious and overwhelmed. What? Could happen. So feel free to tap along, and you also might, I would imagine you would feel some relief as well. But you don't have to get the words exactly right, and you can replace the words that I say with words you say. Okay? All right, so we did this, right? All right, so remember, chart your distress scale, do the setup, even though I feel blank, I fully and completely love and accept myself. Okay, here we go. I feel so anxious. I can't stand being this overwhelmed. This overwhelm drives me crazy. Now we start going over the list of things. I'm so sick of this. Why does this always happen to me? I don't understand why this keeps happening. I work so freaking hard and look what happens. And I never get anywhere. I'm really upset today. You see, I just spoke the sentences, and I could do that a couple times. So round one is, I'm being creative, speak the shit, okay? I'm so tired of this. And sometimes people, you can just go, oh, this anxiety, this overwhelm. You can get as creative, you can get as wordy as you want. To me, the wordier the better, because I like to go deep. We're going to pull it all up, okay? So round one is speaking the pain and or the problem. And just think, what else? You might feel anxious, but what else? This is causing me to lose confidence. I'm starting to doubt myself. I'm wondering if it's ever going to get better. It's really making me sick. I'm so troubled by this. I'm starting to lose faith in me. Do you see how I just pull out every shitty thought, basically? I just pull that out and start tapping on it. And so I do maybe 1 or 2 rounds on that. And then the second round is a new possibility, right? So we've spoken the shit, spoken the pain, spoken the overwhelm, whatever it is. And the second round, we're going to go, but maybe it could be better. I'd like to believe it could be better. I want to know that I can have some control here. I'm going to believe that things can change for the better. I don't have to feel this anymore. I can feel at peace. I believe things can get better. Okay, so round one, speak the pain and the problems and the crap. Round two is a new possibility. And round three is you speak what you desire. So when you wrote out your statements in the beginning, what would you prefer? I'm calm. My body feels so peaceful. I'm noticing my breathing is slowing down. I feel really hopeful. I am at peace. I got this. God is with me. Life is good. And you can just keep doing this one, whatever you want. Ooh, money's flowing. I feel really good. I feel so supported. Everything is working exactly how it should. And so you feel the difference with that? So just column one, you write out what you don't want. Round two, you kind of do a transition. Maybe it could be different, right? Round three, you tap in what you want. And then you rub your hands, take a breath. And now you say, what number am I now? So if you were, let's say I was a 7 before, and this was just a role play, I was like, wow, I'm a 2. Cool. So remember what I said in the very beginning? I said in the beginning that if you are hijacked with your physiology, if your physiology has you such that all the mental constructs, all the tools you have, the affirmation, the visualization, the prayer, the meditation, the journaling, all the mind things aren't working, you gotta tap the energy down, because then your physiology has, I say, hijacked you or taken you over, so you don't have the tools. So the goal is do the tapping. It calms down your physiology, and you now become resourceful. Now you can say, oh, that was so silly. I was totally taking that personally. That means nothing. Whereas 10 minutes before, you were a nutcase. Pardon me calling you a nutcase, but I've been one myself. So that's what I wanted to share with you, because I think a lot of people get really frustrated when the tools that they have can't work. And so if you understand the distinction, and you'll know the difference, like, am I just being a little goofy, a little neurotic? Like, if I could just stop and just pray and meditate and be in gratitude right now, I can shift it, all right? That's cool. But if you are triggered in your physiology, like if your brain is pumping out chemicals and you're really like a 3-year-old emotionally, it's not going to work. So you really have to say, okay, up until here, my mind can take me home. Up until here, or from here to here, I got to do something to shift the energy of my body. And so use EFT again. Go to YouTube or just watch this. I hope you guys tap along. And if you're watching it, thanks for watching, everybody. It's really fun to see y'all here. I would love to hear, did you tap? Did you get some results? Did you notice anything different? You have any questions? So I really appreciate you watching and watching live and watching later. So have a fabulous rest of your weekend. Peace and blessings. Bye.